Hi, so we're going to continue on today, and we're going to do our last lesson in this unit, which is the percent of change. So to find the percent of change, which is also known as the percent of increase or percent of decrease, those are the three ways you'll see it. So you'll want to know it by all three ways: percent of change, percent of increase, and percent of decrease. We're going to use the following way to set up our proportion. So just like we did at the very beginning of this unit, we're going to set up a proportion to solve this. And here's how our proportion is going to be set up. We're going to take the change over the original number equals the percent over 100. Okay, so that's how we're going to set these up. So let's talk about what those two things are, the change and the original. The change is known as the difference between the original and the new amount. That means, guys, you're going to have to subtract. Remember, difference means to subtract. The original is the amount that occurs first in the situation. It's not necessarily the number that happens first. You'll want to read the question, and the one that actually occurs first in the situation is going to be considered the original, what you start with. So we're going to do three quick examples. So on this first one, Zach shot an 86 on the golf course on Monday. On Friday, he shot 95. What is the percent of change? What I like to do is I like to circle the original. So we've got a score on Monday and a score on Friday. Well, what day comes first in the week? Obviously, Monday does. That means this is my original amount. So let's just review. Change over original equals the percent over 100. And we're finding the percent. That's where our x will be. So in our proportion over here, we know it's going to be 100. We know we're finding the percent. I can go ahead and put my x there. We know the original amount was 86. The change is from 86 to 95. And so we want to count to see what that would be. And in that case, that would be 9. Because 95 minus 86, the change that happened between those two numbers was 9. Now that we have our proportion set up, you solve it just like you would before. 86 times x equals 9 times 100, which would be 900. We'll divide each side by 86. And if you need to, go ahead and go over to the side and you can actually divide 900 by 86, which ends up being around 10.5%. So that would be that percent of change. And you can always round if you need to. All right, so Kelly Dreyer, once it became a great writer, she had a picnic each year to celebrate the date of her first published work. The first year, 50 people came. The second year, 30 people came. What is the percent of change? So what happened first? The 50 happened first. So let's just remember, change over original equals the percent, or x over 100. So let's set that up. We know it's x over 100. We know the original is 50. Let's find the change. So the change from the first year to the second year was 20. So now let's go ahead and we can solve. We can cross product. So we would do 50 times x equals 20 times 100, which would be 2,000. I would divide each side. Here, those zeros cancel out, and so we would end up with 40%. There was a 40% change. And you could say here there was a 40% decrease because the number got smaller, if the question wanted you to answer. All right, and the last one, Angela Smear became a famous architect. She made $90,000 in 2004, and in 2005 she made $120,000. What's the percent of change? So what year happened first? That one. So that's my original. Let's just remember, change over original equals percent over 100. So over here, let's set up our proportion. We know it's going to be x over 100. We know the original amount was $90,000. And we know the new one is 120. So again, you would subtract 120 minus 90. That's $30,000 difference. And if you wanted to, guys, you could go ahead and take care of those zeros right now. Get those all out of the way. So then you're actually doing 9 times x equals 3 times 100, like this. That takes care of all those zeros for you, so you don't even have to mess with those. And then you just have to do 300 divided by 9. Which is 33 1/3%, or 33.3 repeating. So very similar to everything we've been doing. Set up that proportion and then solve. The big thing, and you don't want to forget, is setting up that proportion the right way. Change over 100, or change over original equals x over 100. Good luck.